I'm your host, Sander Langwiston, and today we're going to film you in tournament style in the fact that there's many people and we're going to go 10 rounds on each other. I'm your host, Sander Langwiston. With me, as always, is my trusty co-host, one of my 4 co-hosts. It's Mr. Hamish Beaton. How you doing, Hamish?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much, Sander. This is my first time on the MCU tournament.
Oh.
Yes, it is.
Tournament cherry
It is my first time on the MCU tournament because I've been doing my final project and have been horrendously sick. So I finally landed the spot, and we've got the whole gang together.
The whole
which
gang.
Means I can now introduce my other amazing co-host, Alex Young.
I thought you were going to introduce Joe.
No.
There
is no order anymore.
I feel like I'm taking someone else's place here. Oh, Joe's gone.
Joe's gone.
No, I can't wait to insert my hot takes like I did the last time I did the tournament, where Xander, you hated me and you hated everything I stood for. So I can't wait to do that again.
Joe's here as well. Hi, Joe.
Joe's here as well. What an intro.
Speaking of Joe, here he is.
Hi everyone. It's me, a Joe Rio. That's the intro you're getting from me.
And Siwan's here as well. Hey, Siwan, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Hi.
Our other amazing co-host, I feel as if we should mention.
We should mention that we have everyone here is an amazing co-host. We should say that.
The team is all here together. This is the first time we've had all 5 of us.
I know. I'm
sat
stressed.
Down.
Ooga booga.
I'm feeling the energy. The energy in this call is palpitating.
But before we get into the tournament, of course, it's time for you all to tell me a moan. So, who's got a moan first? Joe?
I have a... Oh?
I know we've
Joe
mentioned this before, but if you're in a cinema, be quiet. So, I went to go see Guardians 3 for the second time. It's still very good, by the way. Best Marvel film, but, you know. And the adverts were going fine. Not many people were talking during it. And then this family sat next to me. And the film started. I was like, okay, they're being quiet. There was constant commentary throughout from them. Not only that, it was in another language, so it wasn't commentary I could understand. And I was like, I don't even know what you're commenting on. Like, are you talking about Groot? What's going on?
Preferably the movie that was in front of you.
I know,
would
but I
like
don't know
to
what
think.
element. I would have liked to have known. If they were doing a commentary, I would have at least liked to have known what they were talking about. So I could have been like, okay. But I had no idea. And they were just making
Is Joe about
noises.
to join UKIP? Is that what's happening?
What?
Joe, just learn the language.
What? No, just shut up during the film, you piece of shit.
This is our request to be sponsored by Duolingo.
I told them to shush during the post-credit scene.
Wait, you only told them to
anyone
shut
else?
up during the post-credit scene? You didn't say it any sooner?
I was like, I was afraid.
What's the point?
I was petrified.
It's the post-credit scene.
I didn't say shut up. I went, shh.
Oh, big
I went
man
like
Joe.
What are you, some
They didn't even hear
middle-aged
me.
mother?
They didn't even hear me, but it was effective.
It was not very effective. Who else has a moan?
I have a gargantuan moan.
Oh, Hamish started talking before Alex's hand went up, so...
I'm sorry,
Actually,
Alex.
technically, Alex's hand went up first in the first round with me, so technically Alex should go next.
I was coming home.
Yeah, but here's Joe.
I was coming home today.
Someone moan!
I was coming home today on the bus, and it was full, and it was crowded, and I was tired, and I had like 2 bags of shopping with me, and I just wanted to get home, but no, some so-and-so decided to throw a bottle at the bus from like the side of the road because they thought it'd be funny, which meant that the bus had to stop for 10 minutes while the driver got out and just went, yeah, that was a bottle of water, that. Just...
Kind of bottled that, didn't they?
Ah!
I'm glad you got that off your chest instead of bottling it up.
Ah!
Someone else go.
Don't
H2O.
cry over spilt water.
Someone else go. I'm done.
Bottle cap.
I'm done.
My complaint is the price of comic books. Look, I'm all for supporting the industry. And there's things called variant issues if you're not a collector of comics. You get fancy art that is like limited time edition prints on the front of your comics. However, they are goddamn extortionate. I have a comic from last year. It's not even like aged at all. It's not some backdate issue. It is from last year, and it cost me 20 quid because it had a different cover
The
on
ones for Ridley Year 1 have some really wonderful art, and there's one that I want to get, but it's £80. It is 80 quid for just the one issue.
Jinkies.
Yeah. Like, again, I'm all for supporting this kind of industry, and I think artists should be paid so much more than they are. But DC and Marvel, and they're pretty bad for it. They rake in money off artists, and I think if you're charging like 80 quid for a cover, dude, like put some of the money towards a charity. Like,
absolutely, man, absolutely. Scumbags.
Greedy.
Damn it.
Siwan, do you have a
fucking
moan?
laughing through my moan. Fuck you guys.
Siwan, do you have a
Validating
moan?
my feelings.
My moan is my deadline, which is this Friday.
Blech. Gross.
Yeah, I want to get it done, but I can't write an essay at the minute, so I'm having fun.
I can tell. No, like, passive aggressiveness there at all.
So
You're
it's why
taking
I'm
up my
here.
precious essay time, Xander.
You have to do what I do, which is
Sawan,
lock
you
yourself
sh-
in the library for 6 hours, and then somehow you crank out 3,000
Oh no, that would
words.
be so much worse.
Hey, Sawan, you should smile more.
Oh yeah, I know I should.
I have a moan that's slightly more directed at someone. I'm not going to name any names or anything. It's no one here.
I'm not interested then.
But I work in an office, and someone new started, and I found out the hard way that they get the same bus as me.
Oh no.
And
What do you mean the hard way?
and so there's another guy in my office who gets the same bus as me, but we have a verbal agreement in that we know that we are on the same bus at the same time, and we also know that we walk up the same hill at the same time. But we have a verbal acknowledgement and agreement that the mornings are our own. So we sort of get on the bus, like, you know, at different stops. But I see him, we see each other, we give each other a nod, like, yes, I acknowledge your existence, and then we carry on our mornings. I use that morning to play some music, you know, calm myself before I go into work, because I'm very much a people person. But when sometimes I need to recharge my batteries, so I'll sit on the bus in the morning. That's my time to recharge. And then this new person started, and they got on the bus and sat next to me on the bus. And then when they got off the bus, they kept walking with me, and then they saw the other guy and brought him into the conversation as well. And I looked at him like, she doesn't know the agreement. She's not aware of it. And so now I keep being late to work so that I don't see her on the bus.
Could you tell them about the agreement?
Listen, I'm too scared. All right, it took me a month to talk to this guy about the agreement. I just used to avoid him in the mornings, but now we're much more comfortable knowing what's going on. So
here's what you do: turn up to their house with Love Actually style cards, and just write on them, "I don't want to walk to work with you.
Fuck
Goodbye."
off.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. Yeah, that was my mom.
That's a good moan.
Leave me alone in the mornings, please. I'm begging you.
Crazy.
Speaking to you in the morning reminds me of stubbing my toe. Don't.
Good lord. Right.
Left.
We've all a
You
good
seem
moan.
like the
I
type
feel.
of person to clap when an airplane lands. Leave me be.
I feel a lot better. So now that our heads are clear, let's do some more MCU tournament. Now, if this is for some reason the first episode you're listening to,
Then you're a fool.
you're crazy. You're a fool. Fool of a took.
Full of a took.
There have been 3 episodes beforehand where we've whittled down 41 MCU entries down to just 16.
16! Well, Poulter.
And
16.
we are going to whittle down all 16 of those down to just 8 for next time's quarter-final. We've got some heavy-hitting matchups this week, so it's an exciting one. Is everyone else excited?
I'm ready. I'm ready to
See.
give you my
Yeah, I
hot
think
takes.
so. I guess so. Do we have to? Oh, I guess we're doing it now, so let's go.
We're already here. We're already here. No turning
Can I
back.
vote Guardians of the Galaxy 3 for all of them?
Yeah, that's won my heart. Best
Okay, so
Marvel
Guardians
film
of the
ever.
Galaxy 3 wins the whole thing,
Yep.
but we need to find out what comes
I would
second.
agree with that. I would agree
Okay.
with that.
Yeah, we'll
So-
find what's second.
Let's start with the first matchup of the round of 16. Oh, I'm excited. It is the number 1 seed, Avengers Endgame,
That should not be
and
number
it's
one.
facing off against the number 16 seed, Ms. Marvel, the Disney Plus
I
show.
think we all know which is going to win this.
Miss
Miss
Marvel.
Marvel.
I'm somewhat inclined to say that Miss Marvel was definitely more like
Enjoyable,
Endgame
fun,
didn't need to like
put
show
together,
like culture or anything like
interesting.
that.
Just overall,
like-
I liked it more. There was more substance to it. I actually went and watched it on opening day instead of waiting 2 years to watch it on some bootleg website. So yeah, I think Miss Marvel wins.
Are you okay, Alex?
No.
I'm willing to give Miss Marvel credit where credit's due. I will say Endgame is like the finale. It's the big build up.
But does it work on
Yeah.
its own? Because you need all those films to sort of back it
No,
up.
it doesn't work on its own. It doesn't work on its own.
But Miss
But
Marvel,
neither does Ms. Marvel.
It's kind
Yes,
of
it does.
contained, isn't it?
Yes,
No, it does.
Kind
Miss
of.
Marvel works
Well,
on
no,
its
you
own
need
because it
Captain
is
Marvel.
contained.
You need Captain Marvel in
And
it.
you-
Because
and you
she
need-
keeps
Yeah, but
speaking
you don't need
out
to
about
watch them. You don't need to
No,
watch Captain Marvel.
You don't need to have watched Captain Marvel. You just know that she's there, and it shows that. It explains that. With Endgame, how many movies do you need to watch to actually understand every plotline that happens in Endgame?
Like
it. One,
12.
The
Infinity
entire.
War.
No, it's not one.
So
You need to have watched You need to have watched Infinity War, and to have watched Infinity War, you need to have watched this. And to have watched that, you need to have watched that, and to have watched that, you need to have watched that.
It's at least 12
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
so.
by a
Yeah.
rough guesstimation. But Avengers Endgame is, it's the biggest movie of all time. Well, now technically second because of Avatar's many re-releases, but it was the biggest thing on the planet.
That doesn't mean
for
it's
like
good.
so long. I think
Yeah,
it's
Donald,
such a huge
Donald
achievement.
Trump. Donald Trump was big for a long time, but was he?
Oh
any
my god!
good?
What? How are we comparing Avengers Endgame to Donald Trump? What's going on?
It's good business models,
It's very
I'm
true.
kidding, by the way.
To
That was a
who?
joke.
Oh no!
Avengers Endgame falls flat with, I think, the middle act. I think the first act, which is character driven, is really strong, and the third act with
Yeah.
the action is really good. But the middle act takes way too long. Like, it's great
Yes,
seeing all the
absolutely.
stuff from the past, but some of it's a bit too callbacky. And
Yeah.
I just want to get to the fight.
I've said beforehand. I think they probably had it at like 2 hours 45, or maybe just over 2.5 hours, and they got the green light to go 3 hours, and they were like, "Oh yeah, let's just make it 3 hours." So they just added loads of stuff in that they had to get rid of, and yet there's still so much stuff in there that they cut out. Like they cut out everything to do with Hulk's transformation. They cut out like any sort of reference at the end to the fact that Black Widow died. It's not coming back as well. No, it's.
Well, don't worry, they got a film afterwards. They'll remember her through that.
Yeah, fucking hell. I think it works as a really nice send off for both Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, and it would have been a nice send off for Chris Hemsworth as well. But no, he had to keep going.
It's all love and thunder, guys.
The best
And
film.
it retroactively also kind of ruined Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah,
Or at
I,
least
I
it
think
hindered
James
it.
Gunn had to. Yeah, James Gunn had to presumably change a lot of stuff to
Agreed.
to fit, but he did it well. If you could still make the best Marvel film from like trying to fix mistakes, then
Ms. Marvel,
good
though,
on him.
I think we've spoken about this the last couple of times that it's been in the tournament. I think it falters around the middle section as well. I think it opens really strongly and it finishes really strongly, but I think it sort of loses its style in the middle, and it also gets rid of all of its really fun side characters at episode 4, and we don't see them for 2 episodes. And that's kind of another hindrance, because then we just get introduced to a lot more characters, and they're only around for 2 episodes, and it feels a little bit, like I kind of cared about these other characters, and now they're gone.
Yeah, the change from mid to finale in Miss Marvel is rather jarring. I won't lie, but I'm willing to like. Miss Marvel just feels like it has character. It feels like it's got a bit of heart in it. Endgame is like, yeah, it's a different beast altogether. But when it comes to what actually makes good TV in cinema, like, I would watch Miss Marvel over Endgame.
Yeah.
That's what you got to ask yourself at the end of the day. What are you gonna watch over each other?
I've rewatched Miss Marvel twice now, and I watched Avengers Endgame once. And like I said, it wasn't like a back alley website where like it was flipped, with like Chinese subtitles and.
I swear you have Disney Plus.
I didn't then. Disney Plus wasn't a thing during Endgame, I don't think.
No.
But yeah, no. I don't know. Endgame to me was just kind of boring. I'm gonna be honest. I just didn't enjoy it.
Well, I think it's good. I think it's a good movie, and it's such a huge achievement to balance all these characters and not make it, everyone gets their own moment, which is really great. And
I agree with that, but also, now you're taking the entirety of the MCU into account with it. Think about it from a balanced perspective. Like, if we were to look at Miss Marvel and be like, oh, but think about all the other, like, Marvel movie, like, quote-unquote Marvel, as in, like Captain Marvel, like, media out there, like, we could then include Endgame, we could then include her post-credit scene from Infinity War. Like, there's so much more if we take the entirety of the MCU into account, because this is an interwoven body of media. But if you look at Endgame on its own, it is a cracking movie. And again, we have to give it credit for being a finale, and a damn good one at that. But I think if you take Endgame on its own and you give it to someone and say, go watch it, they're not really going to understand a lot. Whilst with Miss Marvel, you don't need, like, this massive web. She's a kid. She likes superheroes. We're showing the superhero. We're showing that she's infatuated with the superhero. And that's the story of it. It's just a kid.
That's kind of what a lot of the MCU is now, though.
I will
Like,
say...
everything's intertwined, so you're going to have to bring that argument into everything now.
I will say,
Well,
when I went to go see this when it came out, I watched it with my college class, and one of them hadn't seen a lot of the Marvel movies. And they saw it with us, and they came out and were like, I didn't understand everything, but that was still a really good film. And he cried at it as well. So, we can't... I don't think we can necessarily go by...
Yeah, no, there is that argument because, if we think about, like, singular films, like, you go into, like, a film that's, like, not got a franchise, it's not got this big backing or lore behind it, it's just a film. You don't know these characters, you don't know anything about this film before watching it, but you can still have, like, this really positive reaction with it. So I guess, like, again, if you went and watched Endgame without knowing anything prior as well, you'd just be like, damn, this is, like, a really tragic story, and it had, like, all of these really cool characters that I, like, learn about.
I'm gonna have to push you guys to a vote. What are we saying? Avengers Endgame or Ms. Marvel? Who wants to kick off?
Miss Marvel.
Alex?
I'm going with Miss Marvel.
Ms. Marvel. That's one.
I'm giving it to Miss Marvel.
2 for Miss Marvel. I'm gonna give mine to Avengers Endgame to keep things interesting.
I'm giving mine to Avengers Endgame.
2-2. Joe, you need to start talking quicker. This was a problem last time.
I know.
So,
I'm
Joe,
very
it is
shy,
down
Xander,
to
I'm
you.
very shy.
He's got speedy lips.
Avengers Endgame or Ms. Marvel?
Avengers
What do you
Endgame.
think? Damn!
Let's go, BB.
I knew you'd go for that.
Avengers Endgame crushes Ms. Marvel.
It's still very good.
The next matchup is an interesting one, I guess. It's the number 25 seed, Doctor Strange, and it faces off against the number 9 seed, Loki.
Oh.
Well, I know what Suan's going for straight away.
Doctor Strange.
Wait, Suan, do you really like Doctor Strange?
Oh yeah, he's my favorite character. No, I do like Doctor Strange actually, but no, Loki is like my favorite character ever in anything ever. But saying that, there is one thing about this show that I despise, and it is a character called Sylvie.
Well,
Yes!
Oh my god, what the
Look,
hell?
She
Yeah.
sucks. She sucks, bro.
I do not like her, and the ending, like I get self-love and all that, but no. I do not want to see two versions of themselves kissing. It ruined the show.
It
for
did,
me.
yeah. No, it
I can
ruined
say
it for me
many
as
I
well.
things.
I think it made the most sense for Loki, of all people, the person who loves themselves the most, to like just find a version of himself and mac off with it. Like that makes
It
But it
does,
was a male
but it's
Loki.
also it's really fucking weird to see.
I agree with this. Now, I hate Sylvie because she is a butchered version of comic Sylvie and is nothing like comic Sylvie and only has her name. That is it.
Yeah.
At no point has Loki ever been the Enchantress. The Enchantress is held by two people, Amora and Sylvie Lushton. Amora is a god in her own right in Asgardian myth. And then you have Sylvie Lushton, who is a tragic story in the Marvel comics that has just been completely ignored, completely overwritten. And I hate it. I hate it to high hell. Sorry, it's like, just don't name the character something, and then just... It's like calling someone Luke Skywalker in Star Wars and having them be absolutely unrelated at all.
Yeah, that's the reason why I dislike the show. Everything else about it I thought was perfect, but it's just when it came to Sylvie as a character and then her interactions with the rest of the cast, it was just like, you've just lost me now, and I hate it. Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah, the Loki
Oh,
stuff is
Owen
great.
Wilson.
Owen Wilson was
Oh, we're
one.
not
Yeah.
complaining about Owen Wilson.
The show itself, it's brilliant. It looks, it's one of the best looking shows. Loki, I love everything they do with Loki. I cried like God knows how many times in it. But every time she came on screen, I was just like, oh. I don't know, maybe it's just how they wrote her, and I hope she's better in season 2. But
I hope they get rid of
I
her
don't
for
know.
season 2.
Like the thing that sucks as well is that Loki has an identity known as Lady Loki, or just female presenting Loki. All they needed to do was that. If you go and look up Lady Loki MCU concept art, there are so many designs that are comic accurate and true to the character of Loki.
I know, but the MCU do this.
And
They
then it's
mix
clearly...
up- I think you guys are getting way too focused on the fact that she's meant to be a different character.
No, it's
the
good.
The MCU has done this so many times before.
It's good when they mix it up, don't get me wrong, but it's when they do it well. This was just a shit show. They just messed it up so much with Sylvie as like a new character, and like the Loki self-cessed, which was just weird. And they also that they harped so much on Loki being gender fluid and using any pronouns and being bisexual and all this kind of stuff, and then they make it into this straight presenting relationship. It's like, well, what's the point?
That's Disney.
Exactly. So, if they would have done it well, I wouldn't have an issue, but they just didn't. They dropped the ball, and it's so hard.
Yeah.
And also, like, arguably at some points it turns into the Sylvie show.
Yeah.
And for Loki being arguably one of the most liked characters in the entirety of the MCU, like, just look at him rocking up in Comic-Con in 2013. You can tell people like Loki. It just doesn't feel like his show after a certain point. And I say that, like, I did enjoy it. I do still like it, but there's aspects of it that I don't.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange was really good, though.
I was going to say no one has said anything about Doctor Strange.
Doctor
so
Strange
far.
is
Star
good.
Trek.
Oh, it's this fucking Star Trek soundtrack.
The theme is
It
Star
is.
Trek.
It's the Star Trek theme. It is.
Yeah, this is a good
Listen,
outing for like Doctor Strange.
Yeah, we're all voting for Loki though, right?
No.
Like Doctor Strange is he's fine, but it's like very like much mid MCU.
The villain
Let me
was
check my
sadly-
letterboxd.
Like you had Mads Mikkelsen and you just don't use it.
Yeah, I'll be shocked if they don't try and get Mads Mikkelsen in for something else later down the line
Why not?
because he
They-
was
they
so
should.
wasted in this.
It's a shame because it does unfortunately fall into the trope of every kind of startup MCU, which is just the villain is the superhero with the exact same powers, but he's mildly miffed off. like, it unfortunately goes straight back to Iron Man 1, straight back to Captain America, straight back to, like, just meaningless, like, just, it's him, but he went bad, and that makes you good. You've got to rise up above him. Like, fuck off. You have so many more to, like, pull from. You have years of comic books to pull from, and you pull, like, this bland-ass looking motherfucker who has eyeshadow on, pretty much.
Very nice
It's
eyeshadow.
damn nice cool eyeshadow though.
Yeah.
My man has eye herpes.
Oh, I think it's fair to say that this is as far as Doctor Strange goes. I'm giving my vote to Loki, and I wanna get this moved on.
On the grounds that I don't like, I appreciate Loki for its writing. I don't appreciate Loki for everything else. I'm giving it to Doctor Strange.
Okay. Joe?
Huh. Because you see, Loki's ranked higher on my letterbox, but now I don't know.
I've confused Joe.
Yeah. See, there's the argument that series and a film are different, and they're harder to compare. But
They are.
I guess I care. I guess the biggest thing for me is I care more about the character of Loki than Doctor Strange, and Loki's not putting on a fake American accent, so I'm gonna go with Loki.
So Loki's 2-1 up. Siwan, Alex, anything?
I just can't stand by what they did with Sylvie and that they just dropped the ball completely, so I'm going to go with Doctor Strange.
Ooh,
It's
another tie.
2-2. It's tied up again. It's all down to Siwan. What you saying?
Given everything I've just said, I like Stephen. I really do like Stephen. I like Doctor Strange as a film. But the thing is, when it comes to things I like, shows and films I don't like, but there's things about the films I like, I ignore the things I don't like, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And as much as I do like Doctor Strange, except for Sylvie, I think Loki is one of the best shows. It's beautiful to look at. I do like what they did with Loki to the extent. Again, Owen Wilson. You know, he's beautiful. So yeah, given everything I have just said, I still think I'm going to vote for Loki.
Loki time travels its way through to the quarterfinal, and Doctor Strange takes a portal to the exit door. It's gone.
Well, hey.
Poof.
Me and Alex remain with our hot takes.
The next matchup, speaking of hot takes, there is an imposter among us. It is the number 36 seed, the lowest ranked movie or TV show on this list. It is Thor, and it is facing off against the number 20 seed, Hawkeye.
I've
Thor's a
decided.
good film.
It was a good film.
Thor is very good. You're too mean on it, Xander.
I think
Thor is
people
such
are
a
mean
good
on
film.
it. It is a good film. It's a good opening film
I
for
hate
him.
you guys.
This is not a debate. Hawkeye
Well, yeah,
wins.
but
I don't know.
I think it does win.
Hamish,
yeah,
we've all
but-
literally just said that. the other
Yeah,
thing.
no. This like I somewhat like Thor, but Hawkeye.
Thor doesn't feel cheap either.
Listen. Hawkeye shouldn't even be in this round anyway, but Hawkeye should go through.
That makes no sense, Xander.
There are 2 imposters in this round. What if is
It's
so
not
much
4.
better than Hawkeye?
No.
It's not 4. 4's not the imposter.
It went up against
Yes,
the
it
Avengers.
is. You put Avengers through.
Wait, are you saying you're going to go with Hawkeye?
Me?
I'm gonna go with
Yeah.
Hawkeye.
No.
Oh,
I'm gonna go with Thor, but I still stand by the fact that Avengers should have won over
so
Thor.
this would have originally been Avengers versus Hawkeye, is what we're saying.
Exactly.
Wait, you guys put Thor over Avengers?
We did, yeah.
Yeah, they
We
did!
did, yeah.
Yeah.
This was not my doing.
Me and Joe did it, yeah.
I was outvoted.
Disgraceful.
It's because it's a good film.
It's a good film.
So's
It's-
Avengers!
It's heartfelt. And we give... Avengers has had its spotlight, Thor hasn't. So
Very true.
we're...
And you know what? How long has it taken for Thor to get that spotlight? How many years?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I feel as
12.
if it can wait a little longer.
Yeah, listen, Hawkeye is... I think it's absolutely fine, but it's far better than Thor. So I'm willing to put this through.
I like both, but Hawkeye is just a lot better just because I love Kate Bishop and Clint so much. So, yeah, Hawkeye.
That's 2.
Joe, I think we've lost this one.
I'm going to go with 4, but I don't think it matters.
Death to Thor!
I want to go with Thor too because of my baby Loki, but
But no one cares, because it's gone!
Xander, you're
I
wrong,
see
though.
that I see that What If is floating in like a limbo.
It went out against Hawkeye.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
Yeah, Thor's gone. Thor's in the fucking ground. We're never talking about it again.
Yay.
Never
I'm
again.
Yes!
every time.
Yes.
Hawkeye is hit the bullseye straight into the quarterfinals. And the final matchup on this side of the round of 16, we have the number 5 seed, Black Panther, versus the number 21 seed, the final standing special presentation. It is Werewolf by Night.
Oh, yeah. Werewolf by Night is 1.
Yeah.
Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night.
This was the easiest one. Black Panther, Best Picture
Black
nominee,
Panther is
has
wonderful.
been torn apart by the Werewolf by Night.
Black Panther is wonderful. It is such an incredible film, but there's just something so special about Werewolf by Night.
Black Panther's overrated as fuck, and it's gone. It's gone.
Well, hey.
Werewolf by
There's
Night
no
goes to...
discussion.
Yeah,
Hooray.
no, him. Has anyone got anything to say about either of these?
Chadwick Boseman was beautiful.
Yes.
The music in Werewolf by Night is great because it's hammer horror and gothic, and the whole vibe is just, it's so different to the rest of the MCU that it was a welcome change. There was a lot of practical
Yeah.
effects, which was good compared to the big floating CGI third act of Black Panther,
Yep.
which wasn't the visual effects artist's fault. They were given a tough deadline, but even still, Werewolf by Night is what I want to see in the MCU compared to.
Werewolf by Night is a love letter to old horror.
It is.
It is such
And I
a
love that
beautiful
letter.
love letter.
And
I do.
Gail
I read it
Garcia
every night
Bernal.
before I go to bed.
Gail Garcia Bernal, though. Just saying.
Is that the titular Werewolf by Night?
That's Jack.
He's
Sweet
very
Jack. I love
he's very
Jack.
scrumdiddlyumptious.
Very.
Oh, hello.
I thought you were speaking Welsh.
I mean,
for a
so
minute.
is Chadwick Boseman.
Yes. Of
Yeah,
course.
obviously. But
Gail.
I've never heard Alex sound like that before. That was
What?
really funny.
you should listen to me talk
Oh,
about
he's-
Paul Dano as
he's-
the Red Liver. I pop off. I nearly threw up the other day. I was so happy.
unironically feel.
I was like talking about him so much I was nearly sick.
I unironically feel like on the outside of my relationship whenever Alex starts going off about Paul Dano.
If we get him into the
On
MCU,
to the-
it's over.
On to the next matchup then. We're on to the second side, halfway through. We have the number 11 seed, Guardians of the Galaxy, versus the number 6 seed, Captain America Civil War.
This is going to be easy.
This top corner is like full of like some of the best entries.
Okay, look, Civil War's here.
'Cause
Let's
we've
not
already-
get ahead
we've-
of ourselves.
We've already seen how Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Shang-Chi, and Spider-Man Homecoming in this side. So there's some heavy hitters over here.
Literally in
I'm
Shang-Chi's
giving the-
case, because it's a martial arts movie.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Joe.
Fuck
Thanks,
off.
Joe.
I'm happily giving this to Guardians.
Yes.
Yeah.
Guardians.
Guardians of the Galaxy is like I've said this before. It's the best like example of like an entry level MCU movie. Like if I had to show someone like, oh, show me a Marvel movie, I'd show them this one
Yeah.
because it's just the perfect one to start off with. It's got great characters. It's so funny, good action, and you just care so much about everyone in this movie. Really top tier stuff. And Civil War is like, it's really silly. It's got a silly plot. Baron Zemo makes no fucking sense in that movie.
Baron Zemo, my beloved.
Daniel Bruhl's giving a good performance, but like that's it. Really.
It's such a mid film. I don't get the hype around it. Like, whenever I watched it, I was just like, I want to leave. I want to go. I want to go home. There's so many more better things I could do with my life, especially the ending. Just, I could understand the appeal with just the rest of it and actually seeing the fight, and obviously Spider-Man was in it, but like the third act was awful. It was just such a waste of time.
I thought the third act. I was about to say like the last hour of this movie is pretty untouchable. Like you've got from the airport fight onwards. I think this movie is excellent. Because like you've got this whole hand to hand scene with Iron Man and Captain America just going at each other, kicking 10 bells out of each other. Like, I think that's really good.
I thrive on watching Tony get jumped in the most like, in the most like, can I just say the most UK fashion of a mugging anyone has ever seen. Like, if you go back and slow that down, there's a bit when Bucky just like sucker punches him in the back of the head. Like, it is the most like violent mugging, and it has a home in London.
Yeah, it's that fight at the end is really good. So I don't know what I think we watched a different movie, Alex.
No, I thought it was
Um,
boring. I thought it was incredibly boring, and I was just like, just get to the point. Can one of you just die, and can I leave, please?
Yeah, they were really teasing someone to die in that movie. I mean, the trailers showed War Machine like dead.
Yeah, I don't know why
And then
they showed that.
Yeah.
Does anyone care about Rhodey
Agony.
though? So
Yeah, but I care about Don Cheadle.
Agony.
okay, yeah. I feel bad for his agony, but he's screaming in pain every second of every day. But yeah, I'd go with Guardians over Civil War.
So, Guardians of the Galaxy going through
Yes.
Sick.
to the
Yeah.
quarterfinal.
Yes.
Easy.
It's booked
Easy.
in. That was the
Yes.
first unanimous one of the night. Wow. Actually, it wasn't. Anyway,
Well,
Civil War has been civilly warred.
It was lost. The Civil War was lost.
The next matchup, it's the number 19 seed Captain America: The Winter Soldier versus the number 3 seed. It's Avengers: Infinity
Oh, this
War.
is easy.
Whoa.
I watched Alex like physically cringe at the words Captain America.
I
and the
hate
Winter
this
Soldier.
film. I hate
What?
this film. I think it is the most
Why?
dog shit, waste of time film that Marvel have ever put their effort into. I would happily sit and watch Thor: Dark World over and over and over again instead of watching that film once.
What's that smell?
I'm waiting for
What's that
Alex
smell?
to do that thing that I did for Guardians 3.
yeah.
I smell the bullshit.
The only
No.
good thing,
No, this
the
is
only
genuine.
good thing that this film did was Bucky, and I think that it did it flawlessly. I loved his introduction, I loved his redemption. I thought everything about him in this film was perfect, but the rest of it was a waste of time.
Do you
Well,
not feel
Black Widow's
funky
really
when
cool.
you
I
see
don't
Alexander
care.
Pierce?
What, Joe?
Do you not get like chills when you see Alexander Pierce? Like, does he not?
Who?
We'll leave it at that.
What's that? Top Spur?
Who? I don't care. The film's shit.
The guy. The guy.
The fella.
the guy.
That one fella.
The fella.
If you just said that,
The
Joe, I
one
would
fella.
The bloke.
No, it's shit.
Okay.
It's dog shit. Infinity War is just like it was such a better watch.
Infinity War is the GOAT.
Yes.
Like, it's the gold
It's a
standard
film,
for,
not an animal.
for Marvel
Shut up,
movies.
Joe.
Shut up, Joe.
No, I kind of want to give it to Winter
Whoa.
Soldier.
Well, it's a good thing no one cares about your opinion.
I'll watch Winter Soldier over Infinity War. Ask yourselves right now, what would
Infinity
you
War.
watch?
Infinity War.
Infinity War. No, because if
Oh,
you watch
wait.
Infinity War, you have to watch Endgame.
No, you
It
don't.
depends
That's
on
not
No, you
true.
the
don't.
mood I'm in.
No, you
Kind
don't.
of
No,
is.
because if I watch Infinity War, I already know what happens in Endgame, so I could just go. I just think that like Infinity War is so beautiful. It has such good interaction with the characters. I think it's wonderful, and it's like, damn, this is a really good film. But I know everyone's gonna be okay in the end. Well, apart from a few people. But
Haha, Vision.
no, I just think it's a great film. That's it. End off. Switch it off. Go to bed.
I will say, I came out of Infinity War with my best friend, and we were speechless.
Yeah.
Like, I got home, and my mom was like, "Oh, how's the movie?" And I went, "I don't know how to feel." Part of me will always watch Winter Soldier over Infinity War, but emotionally impacting wise, I'm happy to pass it to Infinity War.
Yeah,
I don't think
that...
any. Sorry.
I'll let you go.
I don't think any film will come close to the feeling of that everybody felt leaving Infinity War. Because
I
you're
don't know,
just
Guardians 3.
no, it's
Guardians
a different
3.
feeling.
It is a different feeling.
It's a different feeling.
is, it
Because like
is.
Guardians is like, oh, okay, that's a good ending. Infinity War, you're literally like, that is they lost, and you're like, fuck.
Imagine watching 20 movies in a row where all of your favourite heroes win and then they lose. Like, that's why Marvel made 20 of the same movies in a row. It's so they
Make
could
this more
make
shocking.
that.
Fucking plot.
Damn, they really were
Yeah.
in it for the long run.
They lose.
What if they didn't win?
That should have been the what if episode. What if they didn't
I think
win?
because both are directed by the Russos. You can not to be nerdy, but you can tell that they've developed their skills in directing because they managed to tackle and balance all of the different tones like Guardians and the main Avengers, and I just think it looks better. I mean, you can't. Where am I going with this? Hang on. There's a fault going on.
moon?
There's a fault going on. Yeah. You can't judge a film just on visuals, but I think. Oh, I don't know. What am I saying here?
The visuals for Infinity War were fucking splendid.
Yes. This is correct.
Yeah.
And that means I don't know which one I'm going with. Oh.
I'm
I've waffled.
Listen,
I'm
I
sorry.
think Winter Soldier has gone up and down in my rankings so often because sometimes I watch it and it hurts my brain how often they cut, and I think this is the Russos operating at their best. They've clearly developed their skills as directors through Winter Soldier, Civil War, and this. They've had growing pains in Civil War, and that's okay. It's okay to have growing pains because then this is their magnum opus in terms of MCU direction. And your debut is always going to be special, but then people are going to judge you on your peaks as well, and this is the peak. So I will happily give my vote to Avengers: Infinity War.
I concur.
If that makes it any easier for you, Joe.
I
concur?
agree. I concur. Doctor.
Okay, so that's 2 for Infinity War, Alex.
Infinity War.
3 for Infinity War, Swan.
Not that it matters.
You gonna
Yeah,
dig
it
your
doesn't
heels
matter,
in?
but
Yeah, no. I mean, I love Winter Soldier. It's one of my top 5, but Infinity War's at the top. Nothing.
But Bucky is a schmucky.
I love my baby Bucky, but Infinity War, easy.
Hamish.
Oh, no, Infinity War, bro.
Infinity War goes through, unclamoured by any other votes. The Winter Soldier goes back into hibernation, and we have a particularly difficult quarter-final matchup on our hands next time. But for now, we're down to the final 2 matchups of this round of 16. The next one, it's the 23 seed. It is Moon Knight versus the number 26 seed, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, what are you doing to us? What are you doing?
See, to
But
me,
John,
this is
but-
like mid-off.
What are you playing at?
Oh,
the
shut
fuck
up.
What
No
are you
one
playing
asked.
But, you know, John Walker is my Captain America.
Fuck off!
Absolutely.
He is.
Absolutely, man.
He is.
He's
Damn
so...
right.
Wyatt Russell is so good in this show.
He is really good.
He is a fucking force.
He
to be
plays a
reckoned
very
with
good
in
character
this
that
show.
you're supposed
He
to
could
hate.
Both-
fucking record with
yeah.
me.
Like, dude, he decapitates a man with Captain America's shield.
That's heavy.
That's the most boss-ass thing I've ever
It's
seen.
heavy, bro.
Fuck.
They should have
And,
shown
and
the
on top
head.
of that,
I don't think.
the slow fucking descent of madness with him in this show. I'm sorry. Like, give. There's my vote already. It's there.
Now, if you're going to talk about descent into madness, I think Moon Knight shows that very bloody well.
Yeah.
Like, and I know a big thing about Moon Knight that a lot of people like to go against is that, you know, the first few episodes are, like, so slow and you don't know what's going on, and it's like, well, that's the point. You're in the shoes of Steven throughout the first few episodes, figuring out what the fuck is going on with his body, his mind, he's losing it. And you're piecing together all of these things. And I think that the introduction of all of the gods, of the villain, and just everything like that, Moon Knight, to me, is probably one of the best Marvel shows.
But it shits the bed at the end.
Yeah, you shit the bed.
I
Don't
think
we
it's-
all?
No, I think it fumbles it. Don't think it takes it far enough, and it loses itself in the middle. I think the best episode is episode 5 when they actually see what's going on. 'Cause you know what I mean?
I'm not
like
a fan of the Megazord.
The
fight at the
Megazord
end.
fight was
I think-
amazing, and I have the hots
just-
for the reptilian mummy, so I don't give a
I just
shit
thought it
what
was-
anyone says.
I thought it was perfectly fine. It just had too many MCU-isms. I'm really hoping they have a second season where they can sort of, I think this is just too MCU-ified.
No, I think that that's the worst thing you could have said. I think this is very different from anything else the MCU has made. I think
that's true.
that is just a completely wrong statement.
No, because every serious moment is undercut by a bad joke or like bad
No,
insert.
no, yeah, but
What
then
about
you could
when
argue
Steven
that-
died?
Does that make the Guardians of the Galaxy bad? No.
No, because they're done in a different style.
So okay,
Like this is trying to be a super serious show.
no, I don't think it's ever claimed itself to be a super serious, completely like fucking stone cold face type of show.
In the build-up, they were like, "Yeah, this is the darkest show we've done. We're not going to cut away from any of the action." And then like all the action's just like, fine.
I don't think they said they're not going to cut away from any of the action. I think you and I watched different promotions.
Kevin Feige literally said there were moments when they were watching an action sequence and they said, "No, we're not going to cut away from this."
Damn, I didn't know that, but it was still good. So, and no, you're wrong.
I am a little like upset that they have this like massive cult, and their whole thing is just holding people's hands. Like that's their evil supervillain power. Can I just fucking add? Sorry, side note. Never really brought this up. Run away from them. You've got legs. The entire final act of that movie, not movie, but like show, the villains can be foiled by legs.
No, not really, because a lot of the people that were being grabbed didn't know what was going on, so they were in a state. They think if somebody's grabbing, like pulling them somewhere, it's like, oh, get out of the way. At least, I would think that if something like that was going on.
No,
And
I get that, but like as the shit like descends further,
yeah, but like think about it. Think about it. If you were to grab me, for instance, and like hold my hands, I'm not getting away from you, am I? You're much more physically stronger than me. So if you think about it like that, it's going to be very hard for some of the people to get away. And like their superpower, let's not undermine it. It's not simply holding
Hamish
hands.
is being a dick, but like
It's not holding hands. It's these judging people's souls based on like terrible guidelines and killing them. It's pretty brutal.
Oh no, I don't doubt that. I just think it looks a bit crap.
Yeah, well, sometimes you wake up and you look a bit crap, so here we are.
Okay, well that was uncalled for.
it's just hurtful.
I'm sorry I came after Moon Knight in that way. I'll remember that if I ever do so again, it will be an attack on myself.
Joe, you had something to say.
You cannot say that the scene where Khonshu moves the stars is not one of the best moments in the MCU.
It is beautiful.
It gave me chills watching that.
I will give you
It's
that.
a good moment. It's a good moment.
What's this up against again?
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter
Okay.
Soldier.
I think that shows you who wins.
I genuinely don't know.
Because I like both, but then, United problems with CGI, but that's not a story issue.
The Falcon and the Soldier did an amazing job with Bucky and Sam. I don't think we can. We're not like nobody can say that it ruined those characters. It did them perfectly, and it went into such like deep questions and awful conversations that we had to have, and it did them really well.
See, both are really good, I think.
But John Walker is my Captain America.
But you do smell.
But he's
I-
also
I-
my
Damn,
Captain
they've
America.
got you there, man. They've got you there.
I think as good as Moon Knight is. Oh, this is hard. Wait, hang on.
Think about who your Captain America is, Joe.
Not John.
I'm giving my vote to Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I'm giving my vote to Moon Knight.
Falcon Winter Soldier.
2-1. Siwan, Joe.
No, I trust you guys are better than this. Come on.
Huh. This is tricky.
It's okay, guys.
See what you can go first. You can go first.
I don't know, Joe.
Let me once again check my letterboxd. I mean, my opinions are constantly changing, so this won't be an accurate thing at all.
Just go and listen to the Star Spangled Man again.
Moon Knight's not even on there, but Moon Knight had a good soundtrack as well.
Moon Knight's soundtrack was beautiful. Like the intro and outro just on its own. Could we talk about that? That was incredible. I watched the credits for every single episode.
I guess I liked the mystery aspects of Moon Knight. Oh,
Joe, it's okay. You can say the right answer.
Yeah, Joe, you can. My answer is right.
I don't know what it is though.
I can give you a hint.
It starts with Falcon and ends
Starts
in
with
Winter
moon.
Soldier.
It ends in a night. What?
The real question is, who would you rather piss off?
The real question is, which show would you like to see a second season of?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Oh,
No, that didn't help.
well, in that
apparently.
case, Moon Knight.
Yes, I love you, Joe.
Well, hold
2-2.
on.
No, no.
Hold on. Some shows can be a good, like, one and done. You can take a step back and go, oh, that bridged that gap rather nicely. You don't have to have a season 2.
But
You're only saying
know
that 'cause you
Honestly,
picked
Hamish, I
Midnight.
just want to move on, man. I just want to move on, Hamish.
And I want to win.
Siwan.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Come on, dude. You got
Wait,
this.
is it up to me?
Yeah.
It is up to you.
Oh no.
Oscar
Right.
Isaac. He's fair.
Sebastian Stan.
Yeah, but Oscar Isaac.
And Wyatt Russell.
Oh, shut up about him.
Yeah, you're not helping yourself, Hamish.
Hamish, if you want me to go with your vote, why are you bringing up the one character I despise the most?
Wyatt Russell.
Wyatt Russell's beautiful.
If you're gonna name him
He's
one
a
more time, I'm
Russell.
gonna go for the other show.
I love you, Suan. Thank you for shutting him up.
Come on, talk
Okay.
us through your process. Talk us through your process. Give us some
Okay.
content.
Right. Bucky Barnes is the reason I got into the MCU. Right? What they did to him in that show, beautiful. I fucking cried. They did him perfectly, and they also did Sam perfectly, and their relationship was beautiful to watch. Go from them taking the piss off each other to being basically what Steve fucking should have, but no, Steve wanted some pussy. Then Oscar Isaac as Stephen, as Mark. Technically, we don't see Jake, so till the end, so I'm not going to mention Jake. But
Ooh, there is a point on this. Sorry, very quickly. There's a bad stereotype. Moon Knight with the whole evil altar at the end. Can I just add, that's like a really bad stigma. That, like, people with DID have some sort of evil altar.
Yes, but not every altar
swear
is gonna.
everything
Not every
literally does
altar is
that.
going to be good and have the same morals, and be
No,
a
no,
good
I get
person.
that, but like it is an incredibly bad like stigma. It's like why we have horror stories like Jekyll
Yeah.
and Hyde.
But
Sorry,
as
continue.
well, when talking about the different alters and the different personalities and stuff, everyone goes, "Oh, Jake's really loving and protective and great, and Mark is my absolute sweet pie, and I do anything. I love both of them. Not Jake, sorry, I'm getting names mixed up now. The other two are wonderful, and then it's like, damn, here's Jake. He's gonna cause conflict. He's gonna be an interesting character, and all this kind of stuff. I don't see many people turning around being like, oh, he's evil, you know."
Right, Siwan,
I get
we've got to move on here. We've got to
I'm
move
sorry.
on.
No pressure,
I'm
no
sorry.
pressure.
I'm sorry.
Whatever is going through, we'll have to face off against either Iron Man 3 or Captain America: The First Avenger. If that helps your decision in any way.
No. Can I do eeny, meeny, miny, mo? Can I flip a coin?
Yes.
Right. Has anybody got a coin?
Yeah,
I genuinely
got a
cannot
coin.
pick.
I've
I've
got a
got
coin.
one.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, right. Heads for Moon Knight, tails for Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Wait, everybody's got fucking different coins.
Oh, I got heads.
What do we all
I got
get?
heads.
Shag. I got tails.
I've got the woman's head.
Wait.
I got the one that says Falcon Winter Soldier.
Well, Joe got a head. That's 2 heads over 1 tails.
There you go. 2 heads. What was heads?
Midnight.
Moon Knight goes through.
Let's go.
Falcon and Winter Soldier have been flown away, and Moon Knight lives on for another night. It faces off against the final matchup for today is either the 15 seed Iron Man 3 or the number 34 seed, now the lowest ranked movie or TV show left in the bracket. It's Captain America: The First Avenger. I think this is the most underrated matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of these
Because
films are
Iron
cool.
Man 3 is secretly the best Iron Man film, and Captain America: The First Avenger is secretly almost the best Captain America film.
Yeah.
I'm a World War II nerd,
It's happening.
and I'm a massive Captain America nerd.
It's happening.
So Captain America.
That was a FNAF scream.
Why
oh my
are you
god.
giggling like a little
I-
girl,
I-
bro?
I have never liked Iron Man 3.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Okay, that's
man?
not
You alright?
correct.
Do you not like nice
May I
things?
may I explain myself?
Not really.
I swear to God, if you moan about the Mandarin, I'm gonna kick you out of the call.
No, I just don't. I just don't like Iron Man.
It's okay to be wrong.
I think Tony Stark is just. I like his character. I've always liked his character, but like, I'm not exactly frothing at the mouth for
But
Tony
you're
Stark.
frothing at the mouth
Oh,
for
but
Captain
RDJ.
America.
Oh, but RDJ. Oh, but Wyatt Russell.
Fuck off.
Like,
He's not in fucking Captain America: The First Avenger.
no, but it's the same logic. You froth at his mouth, but you don't like
I
him,
don't froth at
you
the
know?
mouth for him.
I like Robert Downey Jr. I love him. I think he's great. I think the man is Tony Stark in real life. Like, I think he's the perfect casting. I just don't like Iron Man 3. I've never really liked
That is a
Iron
shame.
Man.
Moving on.
I think you need to rewatch it because it is excellent.
I think I would rather stub my toe on a toothpick.
Why did you say that?
Wow, powerful imagery.
As always.
Siwan, do you have any opinions on either of these movies?
I'm gonna go with Captain America: The First Avenger because
Yes!
it is the basis for Steve and Bucky's little
Romance.
I think I simped last week for Sebastian Stan, so I'm gonna carry that on.
When don't you simp for Sebastian Stan? When don't
Exactly.
you?
I need to take every moment I can to mention the man. So yeah, Sebastian Stan. I think it's a great introduction to Steve. I love the whole thing of with Tommy Lee Jones, Stanley Tucci, all that jazz.
Tommy Lee Jones is so good in this, you know.
Exactly, and yeah, going back to the idea of which one I'd rather rewatch, Captain America: The First Avenger.
There's also something incredibly satisfying. It's like an Indiana Jones movie. We're all here to watch Nazis get the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah.
Like, there's something so incredibly satisfying about watching a Nazi eat shit.
You could say the same
this
about
movie's
terrorists in Iron Man 3.
It doesn't have the same.
Both bad people, I'd say.
They literally have something in them called extremists, which is like,
Extremis.
it's like,
Extremists.
Extremists. It's
I get that, but they try and make me care about them. I just want to see the Nazis get hurt.
And they do. They get killed.
They get fucking destroyed. One gets sent across the universe.
The Star-Spangled Man with a plan. Oh my god, but this has actually happened. Listen, Iron Man 3 is really underrated. Shane Black is a really good director and should make more small, like, detective movies because The Nice Guys and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang are excellent.
Average.
Let's stay on topic, Xander.
I think... I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that.
No, it was funny. It was good timing. It was chef a kiss, and he deserved it. So
I hope he's joining back. Oh, he's back. I hope you've learned your lesson.
I mean, I'm not
Joseph.
wrong though, am I?
do you want to get kicked again?
Just a bit mid. It's not really engaging. Wasn't very funny. I didn't laugh
You're gonna
once
get
during that
kicked
film.
again, Joe.
You're gonna get kicked again, Joe.
I'm just
It'll
telling the
happen.
truth. My mum always
Anyway.
taught me to tell the truth.
Your mum's a bitch.
Anyway, Iron Man 3 is really good, but Captain America: The First Avenger is
Peaks.
it's peak. It's
Unlike
peak
The Nice
MCU.
Guys.
My favourite part of it was when they hinted at Union Jack. So
Yes!
Falsworth.
Union
and
Jack in
just
Marvel!
Everything to do with Union Jack is just like wonderful. So also Peggy slayed in that film. So
Yeah, she
First
did.
Avenger is incredible.
I think it's the one time she wasn't annoying in the MCU.
Yep. The one time
It's the
she
only
showed up
fucking
and
time
I
she's
was
in
like,
it.
oh my god,
Yeah.
yay!
And there we have it. We have our round of 16. We have
It's not being
seen
funny. I haven't
our-
voted yet.
4 of us voted, Joe.
Not that it matter.
Go on, Joe. What film are you voting for?
Come on, Joe. What are you voting for?
I'm gonna go for Captain America.
Damn.
So it was
Yay!
there's no point anyway, but
Yes!
It's a clean sweep for my boy. There you go. So we have our final 8 Marvel movies. They are, Marvel projects. We have the number 1 seed, Avengers Endgame. That will face off against the number 9 seed, Loki. The number 20 seed Hawkeye will face off against the number 21 seed Werewolf by Night. The 11 seed Guardians of the Galaxy will face off against the Juggernaut, the 3 seed Avengers Infinity War. And the 23 seed Moon Knight will face off against the plucky underdog Captain America, the First Avenger, the 34 seed, riding all the way to the quarterfinals. Incredible scenes. There we go, we did it. Oh my word, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
So make sure you stay tuned for the next time we have a Marvel Tournament episode, and you'll be hearing what wins.
Yeah.
Woo! Woo!
Yeah.
Now, before we end, does anyone want to sell me a movie or a TV
Yes.
show or a game or a music or a book if you're a nerd?
So I'm going to recommend Excalibur, which is an X-Men comic run, which features Betsy Braddock, who used to be known as Psylocke. However, that's not her anymore. She's now Captain Britain, which is brilliant. And it's her taking over the mantle, dealing with the repercussions of Britain, as Britain hates mutants and calls them witch breeds. So it's basically her dealing with a lot
they
of
bash their heads out.
it's her dealing with a lot of the flack from this, as well as dealing with Merlin and a bunch of mythical, basically, creatures trying to kill her.
That sounds dope as
Yeah.
hell.
Jubilee's baby turns into a dragon, so it's a really cool comic. Shogo becomes a dragon. It's really, really wonderful.
See, why don't we get comic book movies like this, man? Why did Fox never do anything like that? That sounds
Because
awesome.
Fox don't know what to
Because
do
Fox
with what
are
they have.
fucking stupid.
I know, but now that it's in Disney's hands, we're never going to see anything like that, are we?
That's debatable. We're getting Black Knight, which is opening the door for all that, because by confirming Black Knight, they confirm Merlin, and by confirming Merlin,
They've confirmed Captain Britain.
We've
basically.
got
Merlin's already been done on the BBC,
BBC
so we
show.
don't need to watch.
Oh no! I don't care about the character Merlin himself.
Merlin's a massive
He's a prick.
asshole.
I don't care about
Marvel.
himself.
And did you guys not
He is-
see Shrek the Third?
No, I did not.
Oh.
Yeah, Merlin himself is a
best Shrek
shithole. He's a terrible, terrible person. So I don't care about him. I just care about like the fact that he exists means that Captain Britain exists. You know, and that's a flag I will fucking salute to.
So last night, me and Siwan watched a horror film called The Thing, not the original, the new one
Are you fucking what?
from
You
2011.
got me
No,
hyped up, man.
no, I've seen the original Thing, and I thought, okay, I want to watch the prequel as well, just to get the complete, image of it. So we watched that last night. It was okay, but the CG was a crime. It was just it's really a shame because they originally had practical puppets on set, but the studio took one look at it and went, "Now CGI over it because people won't believe it nowadays." And there are actually clips of it online that you can check out, which look amazing, and would have been much better than the really weird Spy Kids ass CGI
Mummy.
that you actually and Mummy style CGI that we actually got. So yeah, my recommendation isn't to watch The Thing 2011, it's to watch the original Thing, because that's a much better film with practical effects and a great cast, and it's a really good John Carpenter thing.
John Carpenter, my
So
boss.
watch
That
it.
might be the most Chad recommendation I've ever heard. Top tier, Joe.
Thank you.
I stand with you in the times of trouble. Yeah, Thing is a classic, and John Carpenter might sneakily be one of my favourite directors. Sneakily, I think we've mentioned this before, but like his run in the late 70s, early 80s is outrageous for the amount of quality he was pumping out, and crazy guy. Who's next?
I have a recommendation.
Go.
And it's on the same vein as Alex, because we went out today and did a little bit of comic shopping. Go ahead and pick yourself up any of Steve Ditko's Question, written by Dennis O'Neill, or Denny O'Neill. It is a fantastic series. It follows a reporter turned vigilante, because he realizes that the entire system is corrupt and thus must face the system by tearing down the media. Excellent story. Very witty, very dry humor. If you're from the UK, you will thrive on it. But yeah, go and read it. It's excellent. It's one of those properties that DC kind of herald as like, oh, it's like Blue Beetle. We've had it for ages. It's like a real, like, we polish it, we put it on the shelf, you know? But they never do anything with it. They never... James Gunn, you coward, make me a show with it! Nothing ever gets done with these characters, and they're fucking awesome! Sorry! Fuck off! Give another recommendation.
Siwan?
I want to recommend the 2 Sing films.
I hate you.
Oh my words.
They are great! They are actually great! We watched them
Does
the other
anyone
day
else
again. I'm not done!
I also recommend turning up a blender and holding it to my ear and just hearing that.
No! I will not stand for this. They are good films, and they are cute.
They also have better covers of some of the original songs. So.
Yes, they really
I got
do.
forced to go see that on a Valentine's Day date over La La Land, so I don't want to fucking hear it.
Oh.
Wait, you
La
got
La
a
Land is
date?
pretty good.
Fuck you. Who's in a relationship right now? Joe, put your hand down.
Oh.
My recommendation is a follow-up to a recommendation I had last week. I recommended a movie called Grave Encounters. It was on Shudder, and it followed a group of people. It was a found footage horror film where they are parodying a most haunted style TV show where they're chasing down ghosts, and they made a sequel to it. And the sequel is quite meta in the fact that... And the sequel follows this film nerd who's reviewed the movie and said, like, it's really bad. But in universe, it's real. It was released in their movie's universe, and it's real. So then he receives a mysterious comment on his YouTube channel saying, come to this address, it's real. And so they find the real place, and then him and his friends have another haunting. So the first, like, half hour of this I thought was really interesting. It's, like, he's trying to, like, track back, find other people. So he's trying to find the guy from the original, his parents, his family, and see, like, where they are. He's trying to find the producer of the movie to see what he knows. And then they get to the asylum, and it's just kind of like a sped-up version of the original. For about half an hour, they just do exactly what the original did, but, like, sped up with, like, no breaks. And I thought it was kind of uninspired and kind of unoriginal and boring. I don't find it very scary. The ending is quite, like, horrific when you think about it, when you think about the implications of it. But I think you're better off probably just sticking to watching the first one. It's a nice little addendum, but, like, if you feel satisfied at the end of the first one, stick with that. But if you're curious, watch this one. It's fine.
The parallels between that and the Thing conversation, they both the criticisms you applied to that basically apply to the
It's
2011
just
Thing.
the same thing.
It's a rehash.
Yeah, rehash, man. Fucking Hollywood. Anyway, I think that's going to do it. Is it? Is it going to do it? Is that completing our first 5 man of the new era?
Yeah, I think it is.
Let's go! Well, thank
Yahoo.
you so much to everyone for listening, and thank you so much to everyone here. Siwan, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter, where I don't really post much, but you know, if you want to have a giggle, I'm at C101, and if you want to see amazing letterbox reviews, I'm at C1Os.
Let's go. Alex, thank you for being here.
You can find me nowhere. My Riddler fan account is still secret.
Well, still, thank you for being here. Joe,
Hello.
my beloved soft boy. Where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Cook11Joseph, Instagram JoeCook_digital_artist, YouTube Rebel Hoovian. Yeah, and if you go on my Instagram, you might see me hold an animal. So there's that to look forward to.
It's his monster hog. Hamish, thank you for being here as well.
Anytime.
Where
That was said with so much spite.
where can the people find you?
With your mum.
Oh! Oh, wow.
And the people can find me at Instagram at Hamish2864. Those numbers don't mean anything. I just thought them up and I could remember them. Or you can find me at Twitter at BeatenHamish, where at 12 p.m. at night I will comment on one of Xander's Twitter posts and start an entire thread, wake him up, he'll angrily call me, and then I'll delete the entire thing.
I feel the passive aggressiveness, but like I was fuming. I was fuming.
Right back at you,
I was
buckaroo.
about to fall asleep, and I get loads of notifications through, and one of them was like some random maid account, and it was saying like "fuck you, dude." I was like, "What's happening?" I was in bed. What do you want from me? Anyway, we will see you next week. I've forgotten what we're doing next week, but I'm sure it will be excellent. Until then, stay safe. And goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow.
Remain filmed in, guys.